Hi, welcome back to the third video on creating your own personal practice of meditation. I absolutely love teaching people how to meditate and create their own personal practice because it's so meaningful and purposeful in your life, and it will bring you so much peace and joy and intuition and calm. So I can't encourage you more to really take this seriously and start your own practice. So today we're going to talk about that monkey mind we all have, which I've mentioned in previous videos. And I'm going to give you 4 suggestions for being able to quiet that monkey mind down. The most important thing is that you don't let yourself get so frustrated with those running thoughts that you say, forget it, I give up, I can't meditate. Because that's what happens so often to people. And remember, you're supposed to have thoughts. It's part of our culture, and it's just part of being human that we're having a different thought, they say, every 1.2 or 6 seconds. So let it go and just hear some of these suggestions and see what works for you. You are not supposed to have an empty mind, but I guarantee the more you do this, the more you sit and meditate every morning, the more times you'll have of just clarity and empty of thoughts, and you'll increase your intuition, your focus, your joy overall. So let me start with the first tip. Something to remember is to notice your thoughts, but not engage with them. So what I mean by that is if you have a thought come up, just take note of it, but don't start wrestling around with it and engaging with it. Once in a while, you'll have a thought that you should take note of. Maybe you have an intuitive rush with a great creative idea, or something else comes up that you really should pay attention to. But often something else arises. Perhaps you are sitting meditating and all of a sudden you remember, I need to go to the grocery store. Notice that thought that you have to go to the grocery store, but don't engage with it. What I mean is don't start making your list. I need eggs and soy milk and organic strawberries. Just know you can make that list later. So just notice, oh, I just had a thought I got to go to the grocery store, but don't engage with it. Just move on. A great metaphor I use for this is, let's say there was a great speaker coming to your community. Someone you would pay big bucks to hear speak. Maybe it's Bono or Thich Nhat Hanh, who I just adore, or Oprah. Or maybe it's someone who's already passed, Martin Luther King Jr. or Mother Teresa. And you buy a ticket to sit front and center and listen to this person speak. And while you're listening and you're totally engaged, you notice in the corner of your eye an old friend enters the room. Would you get up at that very moment and go engage with your friend? Probably not, right? You paid big bucks to hear this person speak, and this is what you've chosen to focus on. Think of your meditation the same way. Just like when you're sitting in that auditorium, you can go catch up with your friend later. Same thing with your thoughts. Just notice them and let them go, and know that you can tune into that thought later. So that's your first tip. Notice your thoughts. Just don't engage with them. Don't start wrestling with them. So a second tip to help with that monkey mind, and this is great especially if you love nature like I do, is imagine when you're sitting down and meditating and you're getting all comfortable and relaxed. Imagine that you're in a beautiful forest, gorgeous trees, and say there's a little stream right in front of you. And it's just slowly flowing along. So while you're sitting there and you have a thought, the grocery store thought, or I got to solve that issue at work, or I need to make that doctor appointment, whatever it is, and you notice that thought, just think of a leaf slowly falling down from a tree nearby, and it floats down in front of you and lands on the stream, the slow moving stream. Just place that thought right on that leaf. Let it float away. A lot of people love this image, and it really helps them. So just imagine that thought flowing away. You can catch up with it later. After all, it's a slow flowing stream. It's not going to leave you. If you need to attend to it, you'll recall that later. So again, if you're real visual and you love nature, imagine that. You're just sitting in a peaceful location. All right, for the third tip, and this is a great one for reminding you that when you're meditating, you're tuning into yourself, or you're tuning into God as you experience God, or the divinity, or the collective unconscious, or your higher self, however you view that aspect of your life. So in order to do so, think about it as if a good friend comes to your house. And let's say she has a major concern in her life, maybe diagnosed with a serious illness or going through a major life transition. And she sits on your couch and asks if she can tell you what's going on in her life and wants to share with you ways in which you could help her. If this was happening, if you were sitting with this good friend you care about, would you let anything distract you? Would you let your smartphone distract you with a text, or would you check your email, or would you even let your mind wander with your own stuff, your own to-do list, or things that are on your mind? I doubt you would. I wouldn't either. So we can really stay focused on someone when we really need to and when it's really important. So think about your meditation as that. When you sit down to meditate in the morning, whether it's for 3 minutes or you bump up to maybe 15 minutes a day, remember that you're just tuning in, not just, actually, it's so important. You're tuning into yourself. You're tuning into your connection with the divine, and that's where you're going to gain so much clarity, intuitive guidance, peace, calm, happiness. I just can't emphasize how much this will change every aspect of your life. So just use that metaphor. Sitting with myself or with God or with the universe, and just going to spend this time focusing on that. So that's the third tip. Now, the best one, this is the go-to all the time, 100% for the rest of your meditating life, is always return to your breath. So anytime you start thinking all these thoughts are coming in and that monkey mind is jumping around in all the trees for you and thinking about this thought and this thought and this thought, just return to your breath. Even if it means, and this might sound really dorky, but even if it means that you repeat, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And you repeat that over and over. And that will just help you tune into your breathing and help block out those thoughts. So those are my 4 tips. Notice but don't engage. Tune into yourself by really thinking about sitting with yourself for this important time. And I missed the second one. The second one is pretending like you're sitting or imagining you're in the forest by a beautiful stream and just letting that thought fall on the leaf. And the 100% go-to, tuning into your breath. Just keep returning to your breath. And these things will really help you quiet down that monkey mind. As much as I'm encouraging you to try to hold those thoughts at bay and not let them get you frustrated, which is the most important, and just return to breath, I do want to make it clear that sometimes there are thoughts that come up during meditation or after meditation that you really want to tune into. So let's say, for example, during your meditation or even throughout other parts of your day, you continue to have thoughts about a past event. Maybe an event in your past that causes you to feel angry or upset or shameful. If this thought keeps coming up, this memory, that's probably a sign that from your intuition or from your inner self that there's some work to be done. Maybe there's some forgiveness to be done, or maybe just a way of letting go of the past, because we all know living in the now is much happier and healthier to do. So pay attention to those. Or let's say you're really hoping for and looking for and wanting to create a new career option for you, a new job. And while you're meditating or shortly after or later on in the week, you have some intuitive nudges about a new career direction. Pay attention. Those are really important. Those are some thoughts we want to tune into. When we're meditating, don't have the expectation that you're going to be flooded with answers for your life or intuitive direction. That will happen. It can happen during meditation, but even more so, it can happen hours later or even days later. If you practice meditation every day, even 3 minutes or bump up to 15 minutes as you get more into your routine, you will notice more intuitive guidance, more peace, more calm, just more overall joy in your life. I guarantee it, because you're tapping into that best part of yourself. So aside of trying not to engage with that monkey mind and avoiding the frustration with breathing, know that some things will come up in your life that are really important for you to tune into. So I hope you've enjoyed all of these tips so far. We started off talking about being in a comfortable position, relaxing your whole body, really tuning into breath. 3-5-7 is a great technique to practice. And today we talked about that monkey mind, some great ways to not engage with it and not to feel frustrated by it, knowing that you're supposed to have thoughts arise. Next week, or in our next video in a few days I'll send you, it is on creating a sacred space, which is a great practice as well. So I can't wait to share it with you. Until then, enjoy your meditating, and I will speak to you soon. Namaste.